It will matter.
I want to set this up.
Oh, that's fine. I can send you the stuff for it, like the stuff that you need. It's literally just a cable and a little like USB to HDMI key that you have to get. But it's like 180 bucks for the key. I really want it. It's really useful. Like it's basically makes your camera quality that, but like then that doesn't fix your background issue. You still have to use your camera.
No, I just want to use this because it's cool.
Yeah, I mean your quality's pretty fucking good, honestly. Like for like no lights and no special camera, because that's like attached to the laptop, right?
Oh, I do have this light. Oh, yeah, I have this light. I got one. I can put this. Oh, you can't see it. Fuck. I got one of these desk lamps that like
Oh, I'm
extends.
so
That's cool.
deceased.
You still have like
Fuck off,
all that.
Mark.
You still have all that daylight and shit too. I mean, like yours for what it is, Joe. Like honestly, like mine has $100 camera with like 2 like actual studio lights on right now. It's like competing very poorly with what you've got going on in there.
Thank you.
Oh
So, yeah.
man.
Anyways, let's get into the start of the podcast. What's up, guys? Welcome to the Shuffle Podcast, episode 9. We did just record
Part
20
two.
minutes. Yeah, we did just
Part
record
2.
20 minutes of the podcast, but I realized there was no audio. So thank God we fixed all of that, and now we are headed into maybe a 30-minute shorter podcast that is essentially just catching up on what everyone's been up to while they have been away. We are one day away from, or one day past the no sooner than September 1st ban list. There could be a ban list coming out right now as we are recording this podcast. It could be any day this week. Predictions for what day? Joe?
I'm gonna go with September 17th.
September. Whoa, that's like a whole like 2.5 weeks.
Yeah, they're gonna
Okay.
make us wait.
Okay, all right. Mark, what is your prediction?
My prediction is September 11th, and we all know.
Oh God, dude, what the fuck? Okay, okay. Sure, that's a day. That's certainly a day. Let me just check the calendar.
It's
and see if-
Definitely
That's next Friday. That's a reasonable
sporadic
day.
It's very.
It's very
What's the
important to
word
the
I'm looking
YuGiOh
for?
community. Yes. Okay. Also, additional introductions. My co-host Joe for the Shuffle is over here, and Mark, who you do see is non-camera, but trust me, we have a myriad of photos we will be sharing throughout the podcast that will change.
Unfortunate.
He's really cute. Go look at his Salamander grade deck profile that has like 5K views because he topped the regional.
5K.
And then go look at the other Salomon Great deck profile that he did where he topped a regional, and then go look at the other one that he did when he topped a regional, and then
There's
you
a
can
Sky
see.
Striker one because he always tops Montreal regionals.
Oh yeah,
He's
there
really
is.
proud of those because those mean the most, right, Mark?
No comment.
Yeah, so other than that, yeah, let's talk about YuGiOh. Joe, have you played any YuGiOh recently?
I've actually been on Gabe's stream a bunch. So Gabe started streaming, like Gabe Vargas, started streaming during the quarantine. And so at the beginning, I would go on like every single day when he was streaming. It was actually a lot of fun. Shout outs to Bearlord, one of the members of his chat, who always asks me when the next episode of the Shuffle is coming out. So shout outs to you, Bearlord. I'm dedicating this one to you. But yeah, it's been a lot of fun. Gabe doesn't stream all the time anymore, but I don't always join. And but it's a ton of fun. His Discord is a really cool server too, relative to like other Discord servers I'm in. I've got to see like the format evolve that way, and without dealing with the stress of DB judges, I can just watch and enjoy and learn the format that way. So that's been fun.
That's dope. Mark, have you played any YuGiOh recently?
So hold on. Just to be clear.
He's like checking his DB logs or some shit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
That's fair.
exactly. The Salaman Great King can't stay away from the sanctuary for too long.
Stop. So the last time I played Yu-Gi-Oh was 2 days ago.
2 days ago, eh? What deck were you playing?
I don't want to talk about it.
Oh, okay, all right. Secret information. Let's just assume that it was
Okay,
Salomon
that's
Great.
Did it have a searchable field spell and perhaps a deck that doesn't play terraforming?
Would you say all the monsters are a little
I wanted
spicy?
to say Trick Stars, but like they really do need to play Terraforming. So, Luch would be so proud of me.
That's fair. Speaking of Gabe's stream, I've also noticed a very popular friend, a good friend of ours in the community has become a popular content creator almost seemingly overnight.
Oh, we talking about Milano?
Yeah,
We
we're
talking about
talking
the
about
king?
Milano.
The
Yeah,
king is fucking sick. I love Milano's videos.
yeah. I stumbled upon them by accident on TikTok, and then I was like, these
Did it hit
videos
your For You page?
uh maybe I don't remember exactly when because it's been like months. So I've been like
If it did, that's
quietly
insane.
watching. Yeah, I've been like quietly watching a few, and then I was like, yeah, this is funny. I just feel like it's perfect like TikTok like Vine content, but I didn't know he was uploading them to YouTube. So when he posted recently on Facebook, like his great like push on YouTube has been working out really well. It's actually crazy that like piece of shit like horribly titled, no thumbnail, just like simple joke, like skit
It's just good
comedy.
content. I've seen memes on Zodiac. I saw one today actually just before the podcast of some guy had posted a snapshot of one of Milano's videos where he has engage on the board and he's extending a handshake. And they go like, when your opponent activates engage or whatever, this guy does not know Milano in any way. And then there's guys in the comments going, you saw him on your YouTube recommended too. And I'm like, holy shit. Milano posted on Facebook like 2 days ago, so thankful for 4K. This is really cool. And then like a day later, he posts in the comment sections 5K, like a screenshot of 5K, and then just a bunch of question marks.
Yeah, that's
Actually
fire.
wild. Like his videos are hilarious.
I
We
think.
started posting them on Zodiac, and we popped off because it hit like 100 likes or something. I think at
Mhm.
one point one of them even hit like 1,000 likes, and we popped off in group chats.
I think it's cool to have generic meme content that is good, and like what you said, it's good content, and that's what helps it like do well. It just does well in the algorithm because it's relatable and it's understanding between like people who watch Yu-Gi-Oh, and it's just super short. Like if they were like long, I don't know if you guys ever watch any of the Team APS skits or even Sam
No.
skits or like anything that anyone does. They're like way too long, and like because of the length, it makes it like cringy. I can see some of the jokes that Milano does that like he kind of forces out because like it's good content. Like you know that making fun of something like extending your hand over a striker thing, but if like you sit there and you really like extend that joke beyond like its base level humor, it would be like
Yeah.
a little weird. So I think it's like perfect for that. So it's actually crazy that people are still subscribing in like this day and age. Like you'll notice that the YouTube algorithm right now is very built on like recommended. So like you can just watch someone's video and then like a day or two later, or just like revisiting YouTube, it'll just show you their
Yeah.
video on your home screen. And so it's weird to see people still subscribing because that's the biggest problem right now on YouTube is like seeing creators that are making content and they're getting people to watch their videos. So like some people have more views than they even have subscribers because it's just the way the algorithm's been working. Speaking of like other content creators that have done fairly okay and it seemed interesting and piqued my interest that we did just talk about, we'll talk about it again, is people making podcasts. Obviously we were the first to make a podcast. I won't brag about it too much like I did previously, but it was something I saw
You're
that
so
was
humble, Dorian.
very early in its growth and originality, and well before the quarantine situation hit, because we were like 8 episodes in before quarantine hit. The podcasts were something that organically did pretty well. Not like better than deck profiles because they're hard to search for. The content is long and drawn out, but we built it or wanted to build a podcast for people to like listen to while they were doing something else, like traveling to events or practicing or fucking sorting their cards and shit. So it's been nice to see a bunch of people in the community start their own podcasts and their own creations. And something that I wanted to highlight on would be that there are a lot more females in the community than we expect, at least in the like casual, more YuGiTuber community. I think the only time I've ever played a female in Yu-Gi-Oh, aside from my girlfriend, was a girl who almost beat the fuck out of me at Pittsburgh Nationals for like 6th round or something. She was playing like, do you guys remember the Orcus deck that was like a bunch of like starter engines, like when Trickstar was
Oh,
still in it and
like
shit?
Bandish and everything?
Yeah,
Bardish?
yeah,
Yeah,
Bardish,
that's right.
Candina, and like a whole bunch of weird shit. It was like that, and it was like I had just got imperms, and I was playing Dragon Thunder combo, and it was like the only thing you could side in to block if they were going first, because you knew you had to hit the starter. And I did the thing where I hit the starter, and I felt like really good about it, but she like smiled and like kind of laughed, and then like used another starter on me, and I was like, oh no, and I had lost game 2. Like I had like insta lost game 2. Like She put it on the board, put up the Orcus things, and like started doing the Bardiche shit. And I was like, okay, game 3, because like I knew I had it in the bag. Whatever. Long story short, females that play Yu-Gi-Oh are very popular apparently, and they have a podcast. They're a group of people who started communicating with a bunch of like big YouTubers on Twitter. I'm not gonna name them because they're all named something specific, and I don't know the names correctly, so I don't want to insult them. But if they ever listen to this podcast, they know who they are. They started a podcast called the Harpy Sisters podcast, and it's actually like a bunch of females who play Yu-Gi-Oh, and they talk about like their experiences playing Yu-Gi-Oh, dealing with like misogyny and like all the problems you can possibly imagine in a community filled with fucking sausages. So yeah. I think what's nice about their podcast is they have a lot of people on the podcast, so it doesn't force people like me or Joe or Mark to kind of sit here and talk and chat for like an hour, but it kind of like they can just speak once and then not be heard again for like 30 minutes, you know, because you can cycle through like 9 people. But I do find podcasts like that to be an actual mess. Unlike now where like I'm commanding authority and I'm like taking the speaking stick and like holding it and not passing it on. When you have like 9 people in a chat, specifically Gabe's stream, sometimes it can get a little hectic, you know, and it's like, and it's pretty messy. So that's the only thing that I would say I probably wouldn't look forward to about group content like that. That's not so focused.
I mean, you linked the video in the chat when we did our first take before we realized that we weren't recording. RIP. So I'm definitely gonna watch it later. But my first impression is, one, I think it's really cool because I love going to events, and I'd like to see it from the experience of someone that I would inherently not think it's as enjoyable for, because of, as you mentioned, the sausage party that those things are.
Yeah.
But I'm definitely interested to hear what they have to say. The one thing I will say is, in general, whenever I'm watching a stream and I don't know who's talking or I don't recognize the voices, that's a bit of a thing I don't like. So I'll be interested to see how they handle that. If I kind of recognize the voices, or if it's kind of clear who's speaking, and if the same person's spoken twice in the last kind of 5 minutes. But I'll definitely give it a listen. That'll be cool.
Yep. What I think is cool too is it's giving them the chance to make a unique version of content that like isn't just like a talking head YouTuber, right? Like the DZs or the Sams or the APS or the Farfas, like everyone has kind of like a unique flavor. And I think if what brings females into the community or out of the community is that they like kind of group up and do things together, it only kind of protects them, I guess. Whereas like as a single person creator, it can be a little harder for dealing with comments, dealing with people who don't believe in you, stuff like that. Like I can imagine if it was like one female by herself, it would be way harder than if she had like support of like many. And I think that's super cool. Mark, what do you think?
To quote this, I have a story for you, which is kind of interesting now that you mentioned this whole thing. And I just realized it now. So back when I was like trying to play the PPG thing, it was like a couple months ago, I ran into someone on DB, and you know how like DB has its own famous like set of people or people that like to push with like the donut codes and all that, you know?
Oh yeah.
There was a female individual who like pushed that very hard. Like not just that, there was like pushing socials and all that, and I'm like, I was like a pretty like taken aback because I'm like, okay, cool, I guess. But like they were like pushing hard for that content, and this was like probably months ago. So
was it socials like their YouTube channel or socials like their Instagram?
Socials like channels and like asking to follow on DB, like they're trying to like push. I was like, oh, maybe they're a content
That's the one
creator.
platform I never understood.
YouTube? Like
people that chat in the that chat in the homepage of DB. I never got that.
That is a rare dynasty unto itself.
Dude, you gotta speaking to it, I know exactly this. Not that I did it, but exactly that. Like way back when I started, and like DB was there since the beginning, right? So like, you go on there and you just like, network. Yeah, and you just go on there and you're just like, oh, people are just talking about shit, and it's like it was like Discord before our Discord. It was like you were just there and it was just a general chat on a Discord, but anyone could be anyone or anything, and people just said whatever they want. And but there were no rules either. So you had people who were like, if you play this, like, kill yourself. It's just like, and people would like agree and stuff like that, right? So like I treated it like when there was like no rules, as Dueling Book is, there are no rules technically, not for the game of Yu-Gi-Oh, but for like community's sake, you can do whatever the fuck you want on Dueling Book and maybe something will happen, who knows, right? So like I completely understand. I just never partaked in the I never partaked in the communication level of Dueling Book. I actually fucking hate typing to the opponent for anything that isn't like K or like question mark. That's it. That's mostly all I do. K and question mark.
I just logged into Dueling Book to see what was on there, and the first comment on the top of the thing was, "Bro, why you even bother trying to figure out what's the problem card? It's obviously vanilla. How do you get over 2050 defense? 2050."
Yeah, that speaks
That's
to it.
that's Dueling Book.
I think it's much better now because there's at least a community of memers. Like everywhere has a community of memers, right? So something like that, you could just like screenshot every day. If we did that, we make a video of just like we screenshot what the top comment on Dueling Book is every day for like 30 days and just see like what it's like.
There was one day on Gabe's stream where we were just joking about a copy pasta. So Drew, like Cardboard Cravings Drew, was on the stream with Gabe and he was playing some rando. And the rando posts like an excuse of why he lost. And he's like, "Oh, I should return to the dragon, return, the dragon, return, 4-star restaurant," something like that.
Reborn.
Reborn, that's what it was. And then something about a 4-star restaurant. Complete memeage. And then we all just in the chat decided to spam the DB homepage with this Reborn, 4-star restaurant copy pasta to the point where people were getting timed out if they even posted for the first time, but it was that comment. And we memed the fuck out of it. It was so funny. I was crying of laughter.
What's
But
proven?
yeah, don't post that Reborn thing or you'll get banned.
I mean, you can post it. Gabe's not part of this team. Fucking post it, dude. Here, how about this? I will post at the end of this video. I will put a long copy pasta of something we should probably target in someone's stream, and we'll do it to everyone that we know that does stream. So we'll do it to Drew. We'll do it to Gabe. We'll do it to like pretty much anyone. And then maybe in the next Konami dueling remote duel stream,
Discord,
we could do it there. No, just there in the stream.
Because didn't they turn off the comments for that?
No, it was actually open. I could tell because I was talking to all the Gabe people. I was talking to Bear Lord and like all those guys in the stream.
That's fine.
It was pretty good to speak to it. Remote duel, by the way, that had passed. Did you guys watch it?
No, I did not.
No.
Okay, so I will speak to it then. It was actually fucking great. They can just do that again. They can do that every weekend, honestly. I know they don't want to because they probably feel bad bothering all the creators or the people, but like they don't like it was fine. It was actually perfect. Aside from like the 1-2 pauses for like buffering issues, they seemed pretty on top of it. I think it was a good experience of like the less is more. So 16 player circuit, they play, you play. It's only like 4 to 5 rounds that they show, and they just decide who they want to show. So maybe you don't need like big content creators to get a pull. Maybe it doesn't matter as long as someone's playing, because all we want to see is people play Yu-Gi-Oh. We don't care like really who they are. You could tell me it was like Joe, and I would watch it, of course. But like if no one knew and Joe was playing Salad or whatever he wanted to play against like Team Samurai X1, then fuck it. Like I don't care. I'll watch it. Just live events, it was good to watch, especially since it was remote. And honestly, like because it was controlled by the player, aside from like Jesse's potato chip screen. Did you guys hear about this?
Oh yeah, I don't know why they kept memeing it. I thought that was a bit much.
It was a bit much, but it was actually hilarious. Like I know Jesse, and like I'm not trying to meme it, but like it was fucking jokes. Like you can't like honestly like because it's for us like once you see it, you see it. But once you see it live, you're like, Jesse, you're not gonna put the camera like on top? Oh, you're not? You're just gonna leave it on the ground like beside you, facing up at you like that? And then it's like, and then he'll like glance at it every now and then, and you're like, Jesse, what are you doing, dude? Just put the camera on top. And he just like is Jesse. He doesn't want to, but like everyone's just like, all right, I guess this is it. Like this is the content. Ryan's one tripped me the fuck out. Ryan had a mirror wall or some shit. Like in his
I didn't see
room,
it.
Ryan has like a mirror as like, or his closet, I guess, is like a mirror. So, but he pointed it like he's sitting in front of the mirror. So like behind him, it always seemed like something was happening extra, or like he had another person. Does Ryan have siblings or something? I mean, you don't have to out it, but like
I
Ryan had
don't think so.
he has a bunk bed, and I was like, oh, the classic like only child bunk bed where you get a bunk bed because you're an only child, but like your parents are like, it's yours, so you get to do whatever you want. And I was like, I didn't know Ryan had siblings. I assume he doesn't, but he has a bunk bed. And so like it's more of like a fun like experience, like a peek on everyone's lives kind of thing. And that's what was nice about it, because it's still quarantine and like we haven't seen these guys and all these people in different places. And of course, Sam's was his normal setup, right? Like with his normal camera, like webcam and shit, and like that was dope. And so essentially, like for remote duel, it was a good experience that I don't think is hard to recreate anytime. Like they could do that anytime, as opposed to like what they go through to set up the real dueling at what's it called, the live events, like the real, what are they called, YCSs. That feels like so much more work at a YCS to like take control or like set up or manage, and then set up that like weird tiny screen where like 30 of us like huddle around to like watch the guy who's playing like 10 feet in front of us. Like it's just crazy. So I think like remote duel could be a useful way to do like exhibition or like fun dueling for the future that they can just like host and throw up anytime.
I mean, Gabe started doing it too. His last tournament went really well. He's doing it again, so it must be successful to some extent. People seem to want to play.
It certainly seems like a really good experience. I mean, like we've noticed, obviously, Mark, from like the PPG stuff and like online dueling, like just like custom ran online tournaments have been good, period. Right?
Yeah.
I don't know if we talked, like we did get the full like interview experience from like between Mark and Siobhan for the luxury tournament from like a while ago, but I haven't played any online tournaments, but I have watched a few, including like when Gabe has played, and it seems like relatively easy. So like I would continue doing that much more before I would like travel again anytime soon.
Yeah.
Are you guys interested in traveling anytime soon?
I mean, not to the States.
Hey,
You're not getting 100 people in a room to play a
That is
regional
the
anytime
most
soon.
hilarious point of all this.
What?
If events do ever come back again, there is no way I'm going over that border.
Yeah, like I get it. Like that's the thing too, right? Like if the difference is like we just get our own, like I don't even know. Like I don't know how you solve it.
I would
like,
love to see a Canadian Nats return. That would be an interesting.
Oh, that would be sick.
Are
That'd
there
be an
that many
interesting.
players? Like are there
There's
even
definitely enough
1,000
players for
players?
Canadian Nats.
There's enough players for. Hey,
Nats,
look at
not
the all.
NWCQ.
Look at all the
You mean make them come
European
here?
countries that get all their own Nats. So all we need to do is get probably a Nats, and then they either do one of two things, or like they take the top players from each Nats and do an NEWCQ, or take the people that like win these respective events or like place in those standings after like top cut or whatever.
Yeah.
And make that the NEWCQ team.
That would be sick. So, for example, you know how like Italy has its own Nats, Germany has its own Nats, and then everyone goes to play Euros?
Mm-hmm.
You could do that, and just Canada, US each have their own Nats, and then you make it like, I don't know, top 50, or I guess top 64, or I guess, yeah, you do top 64 of each of the Canada and the US Nats get to go to the NAWCQ, and that way you have like a 200-person event, which is way more manageable post-COVID than the 1,000-person event.
It would
That is,
also be very like it would take less effort to run that event. Because like it would be less people, just easy, quick, done, organized.
That would be sick. Oh, Canadian Nats would be so much fun.
They used to have Canadian Nats, to be honest.
Yeah, they did.
But so let me do devil's advocate then. We don't have nearly the amount of population that the States does, so we shouldn't get an equal share in a half and half. It should be mostly United States players and then us. And then either way, you're sending.
There's a counter to that, but continue.
Yeah, we're better players.
No, I understand, but like that doesn't mean That doesn't mean anything to them. Like to them, it's money. It's not about whether you
screwing with you.
perform better, right? Like it's.
That's a
I
good
mean,
point.
like
I'm screwing
we
with
go over this every time. I'm gonna say it all the time. Everyone's gonna be like, Dorian's the money guy, and it's like, I just look at it that way, right? Like looking at it, altruistically, yes, your pitch sounded great until you said, make a NAWCQ that is half and half, or where does the NAWCQ play?
In between locations, no?
You play on Niagara Falls border.
Okay, so
You get that boat that
so
goes
the-
inside.
Loser
Oh,
goes to the
we all
loser goes
play.
off the falls.
Got it. No, we play in the Maid of the Mist. You must be double
Yes,
sleeved, or else your
exactly.
cards get destroyed. Got it.
Exactly. We actually, you know those like hamster wheels,
to use dual
those like
discs as
giant
well.
inflatable bubbles.
Yeah.
We all play in one of those.
Oh, so we're like fully Yu-Gi-Oh style, right? That's the next season of Yu-Gi-Oh. It's actually we're in a giant bubble and it projects the card outward on the ground. You put the card into the bubble. You take your card and you go, I summon you, and you stick it into the bubble, and then it displays it onto the street in front of you.
Yo, you know how 5Ds they had those like Yu-Gi-Oh motorcycles? Instead, it's gonna be us in those big inflatable balls running around.
Dude, you know what's crazy? Okay, so did you guys watch 5Ds? Because I did.
I watched
did
like the
not.
first season or something.
Okay, did they like? How does the card stick into the bike? Like, does it like not blow away at incredible speeds?
Uh,
Or was it
Oh,
like
man.
digital or something? Like I don't understand.
I didn't consider that. I imagine they just aerodynamically made it so that the card wasn't getting hit with wind.
Okay, so this was my problem with the dual disc. When I had a dual disc, I actually had two.
Oh, yeah, me
as
too.
again as an only child, had two. It didn't make any sense. The card, if you tilted the disc down, the card in the spell or trap zone would just fall out of the thing.
Yes,
That's
it
funny.
would.
Right? So like I just didn't understand. Then I was like, wait, did it actually? Because then I'm like, you're using your real like adult brain. You're like as a kid, you're evolving and you're understanding things like gravity, and you're like, so how did they like do it in the show? Like how did it stay?
You know how many cards I damaged trying to get him in the dual disc?
Yeah, that shit was fucked. Especially like in the attack like defense position because it wasn't like
Yeah.
turn. You had it's like, and then back then you probably weren't playing with. I wasn't playing with sleeves, so
No, it was.
so it was the whole thing.
Why would you just leave your cards? Then you can't see the back, the same way that Yu-Gi-Oh players did in the show.
The only way that made sense to me was the deck in the graveyard thing because the deck had the clip that
Yeah,
held
that
it in
was cool.
place. But then like you scratched the card every time you like pulled it out because it like clipped it really well.
Ooh, yummy. Could you imagine just pulling a ghoster out of that?
Dude?
Oh,
I've never owned a ghost rare
What?
of all the rarities.
I pulled a ghost rare and then I immediately sold it. Actually, no, I didn't.
I have one ghost
That
rare.
was like the first time I actually tried building a deck when I like started trying to get into the game. It was a ghost rare Red Eyes Flare Metal XYZ Dragon.
Oh wow!
So yes,
that's the
I
exact,
tried to build Red Eyes.
That's the exact one I was thinking of. Honestly, speaking of red eyes, dude, he's here.
Oh my god, Dragoons.
He's here. He's
That card is
landed.
whack.
Not as crazy as I thought he would be.
Yeah, I thought he was
What do you
gonna
mean?
like Nibiru. I thought he was gonna land and like everyone was gonna be like, "This is busted," and like every
It is
deck.
busted.
But it
It
isn't
is,
every
but,
deck.
like-
is playing it.
Yeah, but it's not as oppressive as I thought it would be.
Yeah, I
because,
thought it
like,
was gonna be like you can't play. Like remember when like
Yeah,
we had formats
like-
where like you literally couldn't play. Like Colossus goes up and you're just like, so I can't do
Damn.
anything, and it's like nope. It's like all right, scoop, right? Or like they're headed towards a certain way of like combo that it's just like, oh, you can't do anything. Okay, it was like a weird. Yu-Gi-Oh has moved into like this weird like counterplay meta that is like, yeah, it's big boards and yeah, it's negate boards. But unlike like the weird, like it felt like the pendulum negate boards where like depending on how well they played their turn, you could analyze whether it was possible for you to play. And so now Dragoon kind of feels like that. It feels like any deck that does play it, you can actually watch them play out their turn, and if it ends a certain way, you can actually play still, and it's fine.
Yeah, like Dark Ruler exists.
Yeah.
Not even that. Like there was a game I played the other day where like he did like two things. He went like activate a certain like starter and he was like Ash, and then he went to make Anaconda, and then I impermed Anaconda, and then the turn ended. Like
So his
I get it.
Anaconda
Hand
don't.
traps count. It's just like
Yeah.
these
His
people are trying
Anaconda
to make.
don't want none.
Oh my gosh.
No, Mark didn't want none of his anaconda.
Oh yeah.
Oh my.
I guess he didn't have buns. Hey, hun.
Yeah. Yeah. I agree.
Ladies and gentlemen, cardboard cravings.
It's like
We're not graving cardboard anymore. What?
oh, yo, we're craving it, dude. You know how bad I want to open packs? I want to open packs so fucking bad, dude. I just want to open a pack. I want to open a pack. I watched so many pack openings for this stupid Mega Tin. Oh my god. Today Sam put out a video that's just like him opening every tin in existence. From like
Yeah, I saw that. I thought that was actually a cool idea.
Yes, it's a great idea. And I fucking remember opening all of those tins and being like, oh my god, I want to open tins so bad. I want to buy a tin so bad. Oh man.
I don't open packs. I can't remember the last time I opened. Actually,
And that's the thing. I don't want to open packs either. Yeah, I think my big OTS pull was the last time I opened. Dude, shouts out to Cody. Did you see?
Yeah, where did he get all those packs from?
No, he only got 2. He won.
Where did he get 2 OTS packs?
He's been going to Untouch, I think, for locals, like once a week.
Oh my god.
And he plays 3 rounds at Untouch because he's been in 2 of that guy's like videos or whatever. And he's just playing whatever.
Yeah.
So he went undefeated at this like yesterday, which is why he wanted to be on today's podcast. And he fucking got 2 packs. He got last OTS and this OTS. And he pulled fucking ulti Levy and ulti Trap Tricks out of each pack. And like I was like, I mean, it's not really like, what is Levineer going for right now? Like what? I was gonna buy it. I was like, of all the OTS 12 or 13 that I opened, I didn't get a Levineer.
Yo, he taunted you in that group chat too. And he's like, you just like, can I have it? And he's like, no, I'm selling it. And you go, well, how much is it going for? And he tells you the price. He's like, actually, I'm gonna hold on to it. I was like, damn it, Cody.
Oh, he did?
You
I
just
didn't even
thought
see.
that this shit.
I thought he just said he was gonna he was gonna sell it for X amount, and I was like, well, I'm not paying for that shit. I was just gonna put it in the front page of the binder, the trade binder, like it is, and then just tell him when someone wants it. I also don't really like the reprint art of it.
I didn't like it either.
Me neither. The OG is way nicer.
I like the OG, but the ulti, like, it's just like that weird like teal in it. I like the shape and I like the picture. I just don't like the teal. It's too much teal.
Oh, I don't like the shape of the picture. I like the original better.
I feel like the original, it's cropped. It's like if it showed me the whole dragon, like, you know how like, I mean, I'll be honest, a lot of dragons just in like regular life look like fucking whales. I don't know if you look, they look like lizard whales, right? So like Levy,
whales.
I mean, have you looked at Armageddon? Have you looked at fucking Armageddon?
What Armageddon are you talking about?
Chaos Emperor, the Dragon of Armageddon. Look at him. He looks like a fucking whale. He's standing there like a fucking
What card am I looking up?
Chaos Emperor, the Dragon of Armageddon.
CD.
Yeah.
Or are you talking prize card?
No, CD. Or yeah, prize card. Sure, whatever.
Either works.
Either or, yeah. They just like fucking like
lizard whale.
He looks like a lizard whale with a jet on his back. Like he doesn't look like he just looks like he looks like Conductor looks sicker than the fucking, like, why are they all like middle, like the middle of them is all like egg.
Yeah, they are kind of thick.
Yeah, it's just weird, and I don't understand why all the dragons in like society like that. Whereas like all of the Boral dragons and all that shit, they look sick. And then the only dragon that's like skinny that ever looked skinny and decent looking has been all of the Red Eyes. They're all like super skinny for whatever reason because they look like fucking that Pokemon. They look like that bird flying Pokemon. I had this problem with the Cyber Dragons too. Some of the Cyber Dragon art makes them look like thick as fuck, and I don't understand why a literal serpent, like Cyber Dragons are just Dratini, but like technology. Take Dratini and technology and put it together and you get a Cyber Dragon, and that's like that's what it is.
It's a Technini.
It's a Technini. But yeah, like I just don't understand why some of them are thick as fuck, and like it's crazy. What was I saying? What were we talking about? Oh, Chaos Dragon Levineer.
Apparently dragon butts.
Yeah, not even dragon butts, just dragon guts, dude. It's the dragon guts.
Gut piece.
But speaking of that art, are you guys okay? So you guys probably didn't see it, but they're delaying the latest gold set.
Oh, okay.
It was pushed from whatever date it was coming out recently to like November.
Okay.
Isn't that the one that has like an Appaloosa reprint?
Yeah, it has the Appaloosa reprint. It has Ray reprinted. It has Chaos Dragon Legionnaire reprinted, I believe. It's basically like all of them. Anything that had the premium gold, like that gold, like like when you were a kid and you bought gold
Like
permanent
gold
markers.
rares and gold secrets, or is it just gold secrets?
No. They're like ultras and secrets, I believe. But the only part about them being gold is that they have the specific ones that are like special collectors are those like special ones that are like ink raised. So like they are like outlined in gold ink.
Is it gonna look like that Kagari that we saw in the OCG?
Yes, it's literally that. That's the whole point.
Okay,
Nice.
okay.
It's that. So like we are getting anything that you saw that was like that from the OCG, we're getting that set finally. And it's supposed to be a big deal because it's alternate art too. Because like Appaloosa's getting an alternate art. Before Levy was announced, like that's how we saw its alternate art. I haven't seen the Appaloosa alternate art as far as I'm
I hope
aware.
we can get another platinum rare set.
Gross.
What's platinum? Oh, like the Noble Knights?
Remember the Noble Knights thing?
Okay, so everyone hated that shit, but I actually really liked those cards.
Yeah, those Veilers looked amazing.
I think
budget alties.
Yeah, so that's the thing about the card style was that like the whole card was shiny, right? And like I agree they were kind of gross in some ways where they like how do I say
Looked like shit.
they were darker. Like they had some weird like inking issues, obviously. But the Veiler and some of the cards, like when they started talking about this new rarity, I was expecting like that. I wasn't expecting just sparkles all over.
Bro, if you walk up to locals and you play Platinum Rare Foolish Burial, I'm judging the shit out of you.
Yeah, but
Do
like
it.
that's not my fault.
I will.
Like,
I guess I'm getting a platinum rare foolish.
Bro, I'm never driving you to locals ever again.
Do it. You won't.
What are you even gonna play foolish in? You gonna foolish a fucking Stalio?
Spinny.
Yeah, Spinny. You guys are crazy.
Foolish was played at one point, just to be clear. It was played at one point.
It was. I do recall. That's
And
why I was
just
trying to
for
think
your
of the
information,
Salaman Great King has spoken.
I do not play salads as much as you guys think. Stop calling me Salaman Great King.
Okay, so tell me about
Oh, Dorian, you know what you're gonna do? Instead of Mark's little square here, you're gonna put the picture of him as the Salaman Great King, the meme. That's what you're gonna put.
I need all of
Okay.
them, so make sure you send them all so I can get
No,
them.
no,
I don't
no,
have any
no,
of them.
no.
I have a few photos of Mark that I'm definitely going to use, but I need more photos. I need all the meme photos.
What did I wake up to, dear Lord?
So yeah, that was 40 minutes of a shuffle podcast that we definitely would have had 20 more minutes of if I didn't fuck it up. So
Oh, that's okay.
we can do this
Always
a lot more
leaving them
often.
wanting more, right?
Yes, absolutely.
I do have a question for you guys, though.
Go ahead.
Yeah, what's up?
Do you guys plan on any time playing Yu-Gi-Oh?
Yeah, absolutely. Craig picked up 2 Dragoons, and when he told me, I thought one was for me, but I realized he's playing a deck with 2, obviously. I was like, this. Okay. So then, as soon as I can get my hands on some cards, I would gladly play again. Not at locals, but I will. I'm preparing to like really get back into it the normal way I would. I only took a big break because I didn't see the future in like content and what it meant, and I'll be honest, like as a content producer, I didn't see like much has changed. It was like I took a vacation basically. No one stole any spotlight. Everyone grew the exact same. It wasn't like there was a big burst of like a certain type of content. It's nice to see people collaborate and stuff, but like I'm not really worried about the game so far. It's like if you're looking at a trend, it's not like we spiked up and it's not like we spiked down. It just like stayed the same. And to me, that just means like I can go back in whenever I want. Kind of like how Dylan was doing it. Like Dylan was away, Dylan came back, and it was the same. And so that's kind of like how
I did
it
that
feels.
for 4 years.
Yeah, so I'm not too worried about it. I'm worried about like all of my internal and external relationships kind of like drying up. So, but that's just more because I stepped away from the game. I muted and like hid all of the Facebook groups because like I was just annoyed with seeing cardboard every day. Like even though I wasn't playing, that was a big deal for me. So yeah.
Mark, are you gonna reopen the sanctuary? Revisit the sanctuary?
No. For the unforeseeable future, I will. I have like I'm on a hiatus for now. Hiatus.
You're not gonna preach the dogma in the sanctuary?
I already tried that. I went like 1 out of 5 in losses, but like whatever.
1 out of 5 in losses means you went 5-1 in wins.
Yeah, it meant
Yeah, it is.
4-1 actually. 4-1.
So you're saying you tried that and you went 4-1?
Yeah,
Okay, but you phrased it as 1-4 in losses.
1 out of 5 in losses. Yeah.
Can someone tell me? I just need a good clip because I already made a thumbnail for it. Just like quickly tell me how busted Dogmatica is.
It's very good.
Okay, so to me, you know what it feels like? It feels like another Invoked engine. It just feels like one of those.
A little bit.
It'll
It's
be a
basically at
small
the end of
engine
every
that
combo.
always works. Always works.
At the end of every combo, you can just activate Dogmatica cards as if there was, as long as you had an extra deck monster on the board, you activate Dogmatica cards and you end up with an extra negate.
But you
Not
have to
even
have
a
a
negate.
Dogmatica card.
You end up with an extra pop if you want.
Yeah, it's a pop or a negate. It's one of the two.
Okay.
You
I mean,
either
what's-
end on a Rage or Roar. You add the ability to search a Rage or Roar to every deck.
Not roar per se, but like monster negate. Because
So
you
warning.
search floor. So you search floor, and floor is like a quick effect during the main phase. And all the Dogmatica cards, like the monsters, say that like outside of Maximus, say that like if there is an extra deck monster on the field that was special summoned, you can special summon this card from your hand. Just free summons for no reason.
Yeah, no, I made a whole video about it. It's gonna come out as well, but I just wanted to make sure we got a little bit more in there because, like, I'm worried. I suspect. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
No, you go. Fuck you.
Okay, I was okay. My bad. I was just gonna say I tried the thing and I got Nibiru because standard salad stuff. Who doesn't like the Nibiru salad player? And you make Link Spider because a token.
Yeah,
And then you summon Dogmatica cards.
Yeah.
That's
And then
wild. Oh my
you-
god, I didn't think of that.
Yeah. Yeah. It's such a
and you still
follow up,
have
right?
your Rage in your card. Yeah, it's an easy
Yeah.
follow.
What's nice about the Shadal like Invoked version of it too is that it was like a bunch of
Yeah.
light free summons, and I was like, when I was looking at it in the beginning, like I made a whole video about the Dogmatica cards, and like I was trying to find a way like in the beginning to fit it into a deck, and I was like, this is just like perfect, and it's a tiny little engine that can like squeeze into this deck that already is like a mess, and then with the Invoked cards, you like basically have free summons. I was like, this is dope. So I really like the art. I like all the art on them. Like they look way more like, you know how like Chaos Dragon Living Here looks really serious for a dragon. It doesn't look like some whack ass like anime dragon.
Yeah.
All the Dogmatica cards look really dope. Like the Lightsworns are all like obviously drawn by a different human, but these are like Lightsworns on crack. Like R-rated Lightsworns is what they look like. They look sick. They all have like sick ass medieval armor. I think they're dope. Maximus by himself, like if he had his claws were a little longer, he'd look like Wolverine, dude. Holy shit.
It reminds me of when like we first saw like the leaks for the zoo archetype, and they were all together in like their own thing, and we're like, oh,
Yeah.
this is cool.
And what's
And
cool
then we
too?
started realizing that like they kept pushing more archetypes in general.
Yeah, what's neat about this is that there's only a couple cards, and unlike the Plunder Patrol or whatever the fuck, all the other ones that for hires, there's probably like way more coming.
What I'm very curious to see, and I don't know if anyone's read this, but if you've read any of the Eldlake cards that summon, they say summon an There's one specific one that says summon an Eldlake monster. Or if you control Lord, like summon another zombie. But it says summon an Eldlake monster, so that like that's key text right there, high key text right there, that there's more Eldlake support coming. Like there has to be another monster that could come, and that terrifies me. Because Golden Lord is already a big boy.
Yeah, I have done my best to avoid the golden boy himself.
Golden boy comes for a golden price too.
Yeah, that's exactly why I have avoided the golden boy. And it's like he's not like that's the worst part about this. Whatever you guys spend your money on right now, these cards are not being reprinted anytime soon, officially. So enjoy, right? Like this is the post Mega Tin. This is it. Like, this is Savage Strike all over again. This is Code of the Duelist. This is it. Like, we are starting from here. So you get the longest amount of time with your broken ass shit now. So if you have the money, invest it on cards that you like. I apologize in advance if you took my advice and they get banned tomorrow. But so let it be. Also, yeah, high key, low key predictions. They're not going to ban anything important again because no one's been able to play. So I wouldn't worry about it too much.
So I have a counter to that. I think the remote duel is gonna be their excuse.
Yeah, and what are they gonna do? Fucking hit dinosaurs because they should have hit it again.
No, they're gonna say, oh, needle fiber was prevalent in the remote duel tournament.
You know,
let's hit it.
No, absolutely not. Remember when Sam didn't play needle fiber once? Remember when Sam took a deck that already had miscellaneousaurus at 1 and it beat every deck 3 years later without the proper use of any of new cards? But you know what they're gonna hit? They're gonna hit Lightning Storm. They're gonna hit Lightning Storm, and that'll be the end for me, dude. I'm doing the thing where I don't want to buy another Lightning Storm right now because if they hit it to 1, like the terraforming or like Red Reboot or anything, at least I'll only have 1, and I won't have to worry about having 2.
That's another like. Do you guys think they were justified in putting Pankratops to 1?
Yes, that card's busted.
Really?
No, isn't there a card that does the same shit right now?
As Pankratops?
No.
Smoke signal or whatever it's called? Smoke grenade?
Smoke something of the thief. Yeah. Smoke grenade of the thief or something like that.
Pankratops is one of the best generic cards in YuGiOh, period.
If Pankratops had a more specific, like, really think about it, yeah. I think they just, like, miswrote it. Because, like, you look at all the Dino Wrestlers, and they're not busted in any way. They're all specific, they're all integral. But this one Dino Wrestler, Pankratops, has the only effect in his entire archetype that is not specific to his archetype. They're all the
I
rest
quite
of
like Pankratops as a card.
To be
I
a
don't want to get
utility
banned.
card for their archetype, right?
Yeah, but it should be like target, like if you control a another Dino Wrestler. Yeah, like all of them are all specific to Dino Wrestler shit except for Pankratops. It makes sense that they reprinted him a bunch of times because like they understood that at some point. But like that's like if a desk bot came out that also did something like this. Like a desk bot comes out and it says like free summon this card from your hand if your opponent drew a card or some shit like that.
Like Terratop or something.
Yeah, just something. Yeah, like Terratop. You have these cards that are very specific, but they're like so randomly generic, and it's like, did Konami expect them to be like that, or did they just like forget? Every other set like has a card that they just like forget to be specific on. That becomes like busted. I mean, like if it wasn't already so good, I imagined Psychic Wielder was intended to be a card like this. But, like, because he was a secret on release, and he seemed very generic, and he was a free summon, but, like, at the time, he wasn't as relevant in the decks that were, like, necessary. And then, like, Salad and, like, the, you know, all that bullshit. If Stalio was just 2 rank 3s, 2 level 3s.
It is 2 level 3, by the way.
Isn't it Fires?
It is generic. It's generic. It's generic.
Oh, wow. That card deserves to get banned then. Yeah, absolutely. What the hell?
Don't you dare say that. I mean,
don't insult the Salaman Great King like that.
I can insult him as much as I want.
I swear to you, Joe.
Yeah, speaking of that Blue Yeti more, buddy.
Oh, we didn't tell your computer story. Okay, okay, so this is the...
Oh, no.
So I can either put this out as is, as the 50-minute podcast, and then, or I, like, stop the recording here, and then when we revisit this podcast, I, like, compound it into a longer podcast. This is enough. Shouts out to... okay, so thanks, everyone, for watching. Thanks, everyone, for listening. If you liked any of these photos that you've seen of Mark, let us know in the comments below. If you have more photos of Mark, feel free to send me them on Twitter, twitter.com, or you can just hit me at Legendary, or at xlegendary, or Carver Cravings, wherever you want to reach us. Feel free to go watch all the other Shuffle podcasts. We make them presumably every week. That's Joe, that's Mark. They don't have socials they want to share, but if you want to reach them, let them know in the comments. And
I don't have socials, period.
That too. And if you guys want to see more content like this, let us know. Like the video, subscribe, watch it with your friends. Tell us that you want more content like this, and we will make more content like this. But yeah.
Okay.
Goodbye.
I want more contests like this.
Adios, amigos.
You're gonna be available.
Okay, bye-bye, peoples.
Bye.